Hello, my subscription box buddies. We've got another HelloFresh box. 14 pounds of HelloFresh here. Let me show you what's inside in case you have not seen one of these before. It opens up really nice and easy, and they seem to have added lately some text here. Ditch takeout. God, that's heavy. Skip the store. I really need to work out more because I haven't in like 5 months. Hashtag live fresh. And then when you open it up, there's now... Here. Is Dad in it? No. Steve's finally in the video? No. Yes, you are. I'm not. Did you walk by? No. What did he do?
No, he almost did. No, he was just standing there making noise.
Darn it, one day we will get him on video. Anyway, so when you open up, there's a little envelope now, and this usually has some sort of a special offer in it. Usually there's one for wine. Now he's over there.
What do you want?
To get him a snack. I'll be right back.
You can't wait either.
You're so funny. You're standing there with your plate. Sorry. Okay, now the dog's barking. In the special offers little envelope thing, this month there is something from Gwynnie B, which is a subscription for clothing. A coupon to save $1 on this ketchup mustard mayonnaise by Sir Kensington's. And, big shocker, it is drink better. Wines made by hand, not by corporations. So this is the California Wine Club. This is their special offer. That's what's in the envelope for this week. The next thing you'll find is this. It is a little booklet, and it will have the 3 recipes that you have chosen. And they usually will, have some extra information if they have something new to tell us. So here they're talking about their app. I have this app and I've used it to look at what's coming and the recipes, but that's about it. But now it says that you can also browse through one of the largest curated recipe databases in the world. You have full access to your subscription, meal choice selections, and payment details, so that's handy. And then there's a built-in timer. Now, I haven't tried that, where you can track your cooking times even on your Apple Watch. So that's kind of interesting. I'll have to kind of investigate that further. Then they just thank you for ordering, and then they tell you that they're kind of doing a little special focus on nectarines versus peaches. And then there's a little ingredient spotlight. They always do this. It could be an herb or spice, it could be a vegetable or fruit, or who knows, but it's different every week. And here they're talking about how to tell apart nectarines and peaches. That's kind of easy, I think, fuzzy or not. But then what I did not know is that nectarines provide twice the amount of vitamin A and C than peaches and contain more potassium and fiber. And for this week, mine are chicken and nectarine panzanella with mint zucchini and fresh mozzarella, seared steak and creamy chipotle pan sauce with poblano corn and crispy potato hash, and crispy skillet chicken with bulgur, paella, zucchini, and apricot. So I'll show you how the box is set up. When you open the box, you see that. When you lift it, this is just a big padded thing with foam or something in it, and then you will see the little boxes with your food. And this is my darling daughter, Danny.
I think you've introduced me enough.
That's true, but maybe there are new viewers out there. So this one is for the steak. So all the ingredients that you'll be using for a dish are in here, except for the meat, because they are under ice blocks under there. So, oh wow, check this out. That is one big poblano. This is for the chicken and nectarine panzanella, and when I'm actually doing the cooking, I will show you the actual items in the boxes. And this is the skillet chicken. When you've removed the boxes, they then have this piece of cardboard, and it says, lift here for chilled meats and fish. Also, there is an all-vegetarian box, so if you're vegetarian or just feel like going meat-free, you can order boxes like that. I think they're about $10 cheaper. If you haven't ordered before, it's $69 per week for 3 meals that will feed 2 people. I generally think it's more like 2.5 people. Very rarely, like 1 out of 10 meals I feel like was just for 2, but usually I think there's plenty with some left over, or you're really full even if you were really hungry to start with. Oh, and I do have a $40 off coupon code that will be in the comments if you want to try your first box, and that way you'll get it for like $29 if you do the box for 2. So, and you can cancel it anytime, of course. So after you take those boxes out, they have these ice blocks, and then underneath the blocks you find your meats. So there's my steak, my boneless chicken breast, and then the bone-in chicken. In case you're wondering about these boxes, I find that they're really nice and sturdy and they're great for storage. And because they come every week in the same size, they're great, for stacking or having look nice on a shelf. And you can even just use the whole thing as it is as an impromptu cooler. So let's get cooking. So the first dish I'm going to cook is a steak dish. This is a little box that has all the ingredients other than the steak, which of course was in the bottom of the box under ice. And let me show you what's inside here. We have one poblano pepper, an onion, a little can of chipotle peppers, and this brand is Roland. I think we had this before for another dish and they were really good and super smoky tasting. A little sour cream. I just want to talk for a second about this little sour cream. So about a week ago, I made a dish from HelloFresh that I absolutely loved before, and it needed sour cream. And I went and bought the big thing of sour cream, made the dish, we all loved it, and a week later, I had to toss out the sour cream because I had to buy the whole big thing and I only needed like 3 tablespoons of it. So I just have to say what's really nice is there's just so little waste because you're getting exactly what you need for each dish. So while of course you could make this less expensively and make a bigger batch of it, you're not stuck with a whole huge bunch of basil that you spent $3 for. Well, I use my little plant there, but you know what I mean, any spice. Haven't you ever done that where you need 2 tablespoons of a fresh spice and you buy the big thing and then you toss it? So I do have to say, it really cuts down on that kind of waste and the extra shopping. I mean, it is just so nice to pull this out and have it ready to go, right? And there's a potato, corn, and I really like that they're now bagging this separately. I know it's a little bit more plastic, but before, when you have the vegetables and they're loose, the ones like this that aren't in a peel or something, sometimes they get messed up by the other things in there, or they get like, the hair from the fresh ginger or something on it. Hey, sweetie. Cilantro, and last but not least, beef stock. The other thing that makes this super easy to get going is that they list here what you're going to need. So here it is. That I needed a peeler, a baking dish, and a large pan, which I already pulled out here, and a medium bowl. So it's nice if you immediately have everything you need. You're not running around the kitchen looking for stuff as you go, because you can set it up and be all set. So I'm going to start by chopping up my onion. Half of it I am supposed to finely chop, and the other half I'm supposed to thinly slice. I read an interesting tip the other day though. It said if you're using garlic, I'm sure everyone has heard of rubbing their hands with parsley to get rid of the smell, but I didn't know that if you ran them across stainless steel, like say your sink, for 30 seconds, that will make the smell go away. So next time I work with garlic, I will have to try that little tip. Oh my God, my eyes are stinging from this onion. Ah, I just really got a giant whiff of it. I just washed my poblano pepper, and in case you don't wash your vegetables, I found this stuff. It's called Fit Organic, and it's a fruit and vegetable wash. I bought it at Costco. It comes with a giant refill, and you just squirt this on, rub it in, and then rinse off the vegetables. And I just feel like that way it gets any gunk or pesticides, if it's not organic, off of the vegetable or fruit. But I also have tried, and it really does work. It sounds weird, but if you put, I think it's like a tablespoon of vinegar into a bowl and soak the fruits or vegetables, like if you have grapes, all that kind of residue stuff, all that will come off. And then when you rinse them off, it does not taste like vinegar anymore. So just a little tip, and that's way cheaper than this. So now I'm going to go ahead and take the seeds out of here, and then also take any of the white parts here. So I finished slicing up my poblano pepper, and I have peeled my potato, and now I'm going to chop it into 1/2-inch pieces. Now I'm just going to cut the kernels off of the corn. I'm trying to do this so it comes off kind of in one piece so it doesn't fall all over the place. Although the dog's down here loving it whenever any little kernel hits the floor. Because as you saw, he loves corn. I made some the other day. I just like to throw it under the broiler sometimes. You don't even have to put anything on it. Sometimes I'll rub it with a little olive oil, maybe put a little bit of garlic on it or something. But seriously, if you just take, a pan like this, put foil on it, throw your corn on it, put it under the broiler, and then wait a little while till it starts to get browned, but not too much, and rotate it once in a while, It's delicious and it's so easy. You can just throw it on the barbecue too. And I do it with the husk off, but I've seen people who do the husk on. But I kind of like that kind of burnt taste to the kernels. Also, one other thing I like to do is right before summer ends, I get a whole bunch of fresh corn and I'll cut it off like this, and then I freeze it in little bags. So I have my own fresh corn in the freezer, and it makes such a difference. I make this Mexican lasagna that I use corn in, and for years and years and years I use the canned corn. And then, you know, one day I was like, I've got this fresh corn, why don't I use that? Made such a difference. Took that recipe over the top. Next, it says to mince 1 chipotle pepper out of this can. This happened last time I used it. You only needed a very small amount out of this can, and then it says you can reserve the rest for another use. So this is probably one of the only times I've ever seen leftovers is when we have these chipotle chili peppers. Let me grab a fork. And oh my gosh, this smells so good. Oh my God. So there's one little pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and chop him up. Pop that in one of these little custard cups. I love these. I use these for everything. I've gone ahead and I've tossed the potatoes in some salt and pepper and oil, and I'm going to go ahead and put that into the oven at 400 degrees so that they get crispy and cooked. I make potatoes like this all the time. I'll usually do a much larger batch, and what's really good is, especially if you use like little yellow or red potatoes and just chop them up, you know, you don't even have to peel them or anything. I had to peel this potato because it was like an Idaho potato. Add a packet of ranch dressing with the olive oil and add some black pepper. Oh my gosh, over the top, delicious. And you know, you can even just use maybe some minced onion, olive oil, salt, pepper, fresh garlic. I mean, any spices that you like, do it. You can even do salt, pepper, olive oil, and curry. Delicious. So I'll go pop these in the oven. Now I'm sauteing my poblano pepper and sliced part of the onion for about 7 minutes till it gets nice and soft. Oh, and then in case you're wondering, the only items you need to have in your house available when you cook these meals is generally either canola oil or olive oil, and salt, pepper, and sugar. Those have been the only items I've ever needed to actually have on hand myself. I was just thinking, this would be good too if you ever went on vacation and rented a house or something and had it delivered, because that way you could still cook and it wouldn't be as expensive as eating out, but you could have the bare minimums of things and be able to cook the meals. So I've added my corn, I've got my onions all nice and soft, the poblano pepper has gotten a bit cooked too. It's still a little bit more crunchy, but I think it's supposed to be that way because I've definitely hit the timing that it's supposed to. Now I'm going to go ahead and just put it into this bowl that I've got waiting here and set it aside, because next we will cook the steak. It smells delicious. I've seasoned my steak on both sides with salt and pepper, and now I'm going to go ahead and have it in the pan here. I've heated up a half teaspoon of oil, and it's going to cook for 3 to 4 minutes on each side, and then I end up putting it into the oven with the potatoes. Or is it just the same baking sheet as the potatoes? Oh, on the same baking sheet as the potatoes. Oh. Here are the finished potatoes and steak. I'm now going to take the potatoes and put them in with the rest of this mixture here. I'm just tossing the potatoes in with the rest of the vegetable hash mixture. And here it is all done. I've sliced the steak against the grain. The only problem is this is not done enough for my husband. He likes his beef done more like medium well. So I am going to throw it into the sauce, because you top it with the sauce anyway. And I'm just going to just saute this just for like a minute or two to bring it more to like a medium well rather than the medium rare that it is now, especially in the bigger spots. This is not in the recipe, but I'm just doing it because otherwise he will not be very happy with his meal. He just grew up eating the meat a little bit more cooked, so that's how he likes it. I'll do medium. I'm not a big medium rare person myself. I know that's sacrilege for some people, but... So it's all done now. This is the finished product. Looks absolutely delicious. I did steal one bite of that vegetable hash. Oh my God, over the top good. So I'm going to try a whole bite that has everything on it. Well, that recipe is another keeper. It's got the crunch of the corn and the crispiness of the potato and the pepper. Yeah, I know you want some too, but you can't have any. The poblano pepper and the onion, and then the steak is fantastic. The chipotle pepper gives a nice kick of heat. If you don't like it very hot, I would think that this is a good medium. No. Shh. I would say this is a good medium kind of kick of heat to it. The dog is going crazy because the dishes are sitting there. So if you wanted a little less spicy, I would say maybe use half of one of those peppers, or maybe even a quarter if you just want the slightest bit of heat. So if you're sensitive, don't use that chipotle pepper at all, maybe just use a little bit of the sauce of it. But oh my gosh, really, really good. I will definitely make this one again. Today I'm going to make 2 recipes out of my current box because we are unexpectedly going to be going out of town, and we will get back and probably a lot of this will be spoiled. I think the meats are still good, but the produce, the fruit and stuff will get kind of funky. So this will be the crispy skillet chicken, and I'm going to do both unboxings of the food here, and then I will get to work cooking them both. So there's a half cup of bulgur wheat, some dried apricots, a very large zucchini, a couple of carrots, a lemon, shallot, I love shallots, and parsley and chicken stock. So that is everything I'm going to need other than the chicken, which I still have to take out of the fridge there for that dish. This is what it's supposed to look like when I'm done. And the second box for the chicken and nectarine panzella. One nice thing about these boxes, it's a good place to throw your trash as you're working on stuff if you don't have your garbage can nearby. So there's a bit of arugula, vinegar, hopefully I can open this one. In my other videos I've had trouble actually ever getting this open. A little blob of mozzarella cheese, a nectarine, which, if I thought about it, I should have probably taken this out of the fridge so it could soften, but you know what? I have a nice soft nectarine. Maybe I'll just swap this out. Mint, some bread, shallot, and zucchini. Let me get my items out that I'll need to cook. It looks like both of these, let's see, one of them will be 40 minutes, the panzella will be 35 minutes. The skillet chicken is a level 1, and the panzella is a level 2. It tells me the tools that I need will be a large oven-proof pan, a zester and a peeler, and a baking sheet, large pan, large bowl, small bowl, and a peeler. So maybe that's why it's level 2. There's more prep work, but prep work's half of it, right? I mean, really, I feel like anybody can cook. It's really just reading directions, reading your recipe first, and then just following the darn directions. I think overall, anybody can learn to cook, and this is a really handy way. So if you haven't done much cooking, honestly, just start doing it. I started doing it really young. I mean, really, I was baking little cakes as a 10-year-old. Anyone can do this. Okay, so I've chopped my bread, and I have just put some olive oil and salt and pepper on it. I'm just going to toss it a little bit longer, and just wanted to point out that I bought this thing of oil at Williams-Sonoma, and I normally don't buy my oil there, but it was $39.95, marked down to $18.99 with an additional 50% off. And I thought I'd try it. It's a mix of olive oil and canola oil, and it says it's excellent for anything from cooking to salad dressings. And a video or 2 ago, I had mentioned that cooking class I was at, the chef had said not to waste money by using really, really good, expensive olive oil when you're doing anything with heat, because it breaks it down and the flavor isn't, what it would be if you were just dipping it, dipping bread into it or putting it on a salad or something like that. Obviously, you still need to use good oil, because if your oil tastes yucky, everything's going to taste yucky. But just as a little cost savings point, he said don't use your premium olive oils when doing any heat cooking. And off into the oven this goes. I have diced up my nectarine, and then I've washed my zucchini. I've trimmed off the ends. Now I'm going to make ribbons using a vegetable peeler. And it's really funny because, we had to get our son going to college, and we were shopping for his apartment because it's his first apartment. He was in dorms last year. And I'll tell you something, the one thing I spent money on, I mean, not a lot, but I didn't just buy dollar store vegetable peeler, was a vegetable peeler, because I think you use this so much, and then when they're not sharp, they just don't work as well. You know what I mean? So I'm just peeling this down to where the seeds are. When I hit seeds, I just stop, and then I switch to the next area. So I'm done with the zucchini. I have gone ahead and added a tablespoon of the white vinegar to it and some salt and pepper. And the funny thing is as I was tossing it, a piece fell out, and I tried it, and it's super good. I mean, I've had zucchini before, where you dip it in ranch dressing or something. But wow, what a nice low-calorie thing. It's just white wine vinegar and salt and pepper, and it was actually really good. So I think I found a new healthy snack along the way here. Now I'm going to take the mozzarella cheese out of here, and chop it up into little cubes. And this is a really nice soft mozzarella. It really is a fresh one. You know, it reminds me of the ones that you get, you know, sometimes preserved in water. Now I'm just going to chop my mint up. Okay, well, chopping up my mint here. It's really funny. When I first did my first garden, I didn't realize that mint like just spreads like a weed. And luckily my husband's aunt mentioned it to me because I then moved it into a pot. And boy, was she right. I only had it out there, you know, like next to my basil and tomatoes and stuff for like a week or two, and luckily it was still small so I could easily move it. But those little shoots, oh my gosh, they just started coming up all over. I kept having to, you know, pull them out. And yeah, so if you decide to grow mint, just know that it is very hardy and it just does its own thing. Keeps on growing. The best thing I ever planted though was oregano. It's been coming back every year for like 10 years. Okay, so now I am just mincing up my shallot. Oh my God, my eyes. Oh, very strong shallot. Oh. So I've heated some oil in a pan, and I've gone ahead and I've put the 4 chicken thighs that I've salted and peppered on both sides down in there to cook. They're going to cook for about 4 to 6 minutes per side now. And then I will dice them up and we'll toss everything together and the dish will be done. And just in case you're newer to cooking, I just figured I might as well throw these tips out. I'm sorry for you people who totally know everything about cooking, but in case there are any new cooks or aspiring cooks or people learning, I've touched the chicken, the raw chicken with this, so I will use this to flip it, but then after that I will get a new fork or tongs because I don't want to cross-contaminate with the raw chicken juice. So just in case you didn't know that, wanted to put it out there. So the chicken's finally done. This took forever, so I'm going to go and take it off the bone and chop it up. I do have to say I'm starving, so I did take a little sneak bite of the other stuff. Oh my God, super good. I think I'm going to totally love this, and with the chicken out, it's just going to be better. And here is the finished salad. It just looks so beautiful and it smells delicious. Steve did take a bite of this and he said he thinks it's the best salad he's ever had in his life. That's huge from him because, as he said, he generally isn't a very big salad fan. So I'm just zesting my lemon for the next dish, and I have to say that salad is so good. I mean, that'd be like the perfect thing to make like a big batch of for a baby shower or a bridal shower or something. Oh my gosh, that would be so good. And really, it seems like it's a very healthy, low-calorie dish too, and you could change from those chicken thighs to chicken breast, which would make it even healthier, although you don't get quite the same flavor, but you know, you can make chicken breast taste delicious too. So now I'm going to heat some oil. I really like this oil and the flavor of it's good and everything, and it has a spout, but you know, I wish the spout would come out further because, you know, I'm kind of having to like heave things over like that. Makes it kind of difficult, but it seems like about as far as it'll go out. Maybe I should put it into a different container, you know, like something smaller and use it from there. I think that would make more sense. So I'm going to cook the chicken now for the second dish. Now, the problem is I made a mistake. Well, in a way, it might be a mistake in my favor. Let me just turn this handle this way. Always turn your handle way in so you don't knock it over and burn yourself or dump hot stuff on you when you walk by. I was supposed to use the chicken thighs for this recipe and the breast for the other one. Well, the reason I say that might actually work out in my favor in this case is because Steve does not eat any dark meat on chicken or turkey or anything like that. So he probably would not have wanted to eat this dish because the chicken is very present. And that is chopped up and mixed in and he didn't notice. I'm going to do this with chicken breast, but just note if you're making this recipe ever, it's supposed to be the chicken thighs. Steve just came in here and he said that that salad is the best salad he's ever had in his life. And he said, I don't even really like salads that much. So I'm always trying to drag him to this place downtown where you're paying like $12 or $13 for a salad. And it's kind of like you go and you order and they give it to you at the end. So it's very casual, but really good, really fresh. And honestly, this blows it away. And he said, they should get that recipe. I'd go there all the time with you then. So that was kind of funny. So if you see that recipe, get it. Or you know what, go to their website, pull it down, make it yourself. Unbelievably good. I've taken the chicken out of this pan and I've added some oil, which I've warmed up already, and now I'm going to add the carrots to the zucchini that I already threw in. And we're going to saute this for about 7 minutes. That's my dishwasher in the background, in case you're wondering. I'm trying to get a jump start on the dishes. I finished sauteing the zucchini and the carrots, and I put them in a separate dish. I'm going to set those aside for a few minutes with the chicken while we start the next part. I've already added, you guessed it, half tablespoon of olive oil here to my pan, same pan, and I am going to add my shallots. Now saute the shallot for 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'm going to add my apricot and my bulgur wheat and some water. So now I'm going to add the apricots that I've rough chopped. I'm just going to stir those up a little bit. And I'm adding the bulgur wheat, and we're going to just kind of toss that in here and just cook it for just a few moments to coat it with kind of the nice olive oily, apricot-y, shallot-y thing we've got going here. Then I'm going to add 1.5 cups of water. And now I'm adding my chicken stock. Now once this is boiling, I'll be adding back the carrots and the zucchini. This is at a boil, so here we go. Carrots and zucchini can go swimming. I'm now going to add the lemon zest. And now I'm going to add the chicken to this and put this in the oven. Now, I read the recipe, but apparently I missed the part. Well, I read it said you should have an oven-proof pan. Let me turn this down a little bit. But the thing is that this pan really should only go in up to 400 degrees, if I remember correctly. I think I once had it in too hot and I got a little split here in this. This is made to go in the oven, but I'm going to switch this into another dish so that it will be safe in there and I don't ruin my pan like I already almost did. I'm going to move this into this pan here, which is 100% metal and can go under the broiler if I wanted to. My oven is preheated to 425 degrees, and this is going to go in for about 7 minutes now to finish cooking the chicken, and I think to give everything, a nice flavor as it cooks together. I just took this out of the oven. It smells delicious. Looking forward to trying this. Oh, I got new oven mitts, and what I really like about these is look how high up your arm they go. I'm sure you've all burnt yourself about here reaching into the oven. Well, I bought these on purpose. They were at Smart and Final, and I think they were under $10. So I looked everywhere. Even Williams Sonoma, they were shorter. So Smart and Final is the place to get them. And they're silicone lined. I mean, not that you can feel them. They still, look like fabric, but supposedly they're really good, at keeping the heat off of you. Because sometimes you just have to hold on to a pan for a while, right? The last thing to do here is grab the parsley that I've chopped and sprinkle it attractively on here. And then you serve it with your lemon wedges. So here it is plated up. There's at least this much left in the pan here. I'll point the camera at it because I don't want to burn my hand off. Yeah, I don't even think I have half on this plate. So that was another winning dish. Steve absolutely flipped for it. He's like, they just make the best food. Don't they give you the best recipes? And I was like, yeah, they really do. 3 out of 3 of those I would make again. This one, Danielle's allergic to carrots, so I'd have to modify or give her something else if I made it for the family when she's around. But it tastes so good and completely different. It has a kind of a citrusy kind of back flavor kind of deep in there, and then you have the nice chickeny rich flavor, the bulgur wheat, which I really, really like, that I've never cooked with before. So I love that it's, kind of expanding my cooking horizons too. I actually ordered the farro and made that farro salad that I made, I don't know if it was the last or a couple videos ago, and I made a big batch of it when my brother was in town. And Grant's vegetarian, absolutely loved it, and my brother who's not loved it, and my mom, everybody loved it. These recipes are fantastic, so I would highly recommend all 3 of those if they ever come up, definitely. And if you have any questions about them, just ask below, I will answer. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day or evening wherever you are.